Hi guys, and welcome back to Marantz. Rantz, plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. I want to give you an update on GameStop, and I want to talk about it in detail, so here we go. This is GameStop, and here's the chart we're looking at. This is your monthly chart. This chart here is 4 years old. You guys want to talk about TA all day? We can. The level of support that GameStop has from the previous low of what would have been the equivalent of around $2 and some change. At that time in 2020, GameStop has now pushed up all the way through support and broken past it. We know that we're at $25.09 today. But this was the most bullish pennant of your lifetime over the last 4 years, and this is why people are involved with GameStop from a technical standpoint. But when you draw it back and you go to the weekly, now that we're at the weekly and you can see multiple forms, right? So this was a bullish pennant here. It actually broke down through it. This is the time where everyone's screaming, right? They're like, oh, it's a $10 stock. It's a $12 stock. This thing's worth nothing. The whole world's telling you this, but we're all looking at each other like, that's not true. So that was the best time to buy. Once you broke down below the pennant, right? Below the actual level of support for what the top side was versus bottom side. This is within the same weeklies. Now GameStop exploded, which it's supposed to do, because of those technicals, because of the 4-year wedge. This is the type of breakout you would have, but the initial breakout is not the actual break. You can come below this trend line, and if you become below this support, which would be around $20, $21 and some change, doesn't mean much. Just means you're going to get tremendous value because this stock is still headed in the upward direction. And I'm going to show you on the daily. So daily, you're dialing it in. I'm going to go ahead, let me go hourly and daily back to it. I wonder if I have to, man, it's going to make me do this. Anyway, so on the daily itself, it's from what I see from the stock, and I'll get rid of some of these lines just so that we can look at it together. What I see on the daily is a little different than other people. What I see here is consolidation. I see the giant rip up, not so much down, and then you're going to see higher lows all the way through, holding it up. So right now it's getting tight within this wedge. So where we're at for the week, you're going to see a tighter candle, tighter spread. Now, when this actually breaks, it could be tomorrow or next month. However it breaks, it's going to break up. I'm telling you this, it's going to break up because there are a couple of things that force it to go up, and I'll explain. One is supply and demand. So what are the telltale signs of supply and demand? Well, GameStop was able to raise over $2 billion in 2.5 trading days. There's not a company out there that people want to buy at the top, as they would call it. They were like, oh, $31, that's the top? It's not the top. It's what value is for supply versus demand. This is the factor that no one's putting in there. They can give you all the metrics in the world they want to measure this stock on. But book alone, book value is at $10.26. That means shareholder equity is on your side when you buy this share. The rule of thumb on shareholder equity is to subtract shareholder equity from the stock price itself. That means you're getting a discount because you're buying cash for cash. So $10 off a GameStop share, about $15 right now. So if you really know what it's worth, minus the cash, what's the company worth to you? Well, you just can't minus the $4 billion because that's an infinite amount of money. I'll give you the example. GameStop, I don't want to say GameStop, I'll say Ryan Cohen. Ryan Cohen raised around $350 million when he launched Chewy. The valuation for Chewy was $3 billion. He actually raised $350 million, and that got the ball rolling. They just raised, now they have $4 billion in their pocket. Can you imagine what the valuation would be for the company when they sell it? If they ever sell it, I don't think they ever will. I think this is his legacy. I think this is the play for Ryan Cohen, the said billionaire. If you guys look at Apple right now, Apple's at an all-time high. Therefore, so is Ryan Cohen's net worth. So I think that this is the ultimate investment for most people, but you only get this once in a lifetime. That's just how I see it. I see the value in it. I see the trajectory, but everyone's going to try to confuse that with what is it worth today? What is it worth right now in your pocket? And so people can stand on that. People can stand on the soapbox and tell you it's only worth X amount of dollars. This is the fundamentals. This is the legacy business. But I see growth. I see expansion, and I see things that people don't see. And here's why. Those PSA graded cards is just one category. Don't just step away from the CandyCon controllers themselves and any other partnership that GameStop's putting in. They're actually setting up a foundation for what could expand in scale. That's how I see it. So it's all inverted at this moment, but pretty soon it'll go vertical on its own. Up and to the right is what I see for the stock. And I'm not just talking about tomorrow or the next month or the next week. I'm talking about decades to come. GameStop, can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. Maybe you'll believe it this time, millionaires. Maybe you won't. But we're all green. Peace.